Egypt has reportedly deployed Chinese-made HQ-9B long-range air defense systems in the Sinai Peninsula, a move that could dramatically reshape the fragile security equilibrium with Israel. The deployment, first reported in mid-September 2025, comes amid escalating violence in Gaza and a wider Arab-Israeli confrontation that has already spilled into Lebanon, Syria, Iran, Yemen, and Qatar. For Cairo, the decision underscores both a defensive necessity and a calculated geopolitical signal at a time when Israel's air campaigns in Gaza raise fears of forced Palestinian displacement into Egyptian territory. This shift, analysts argue, positions Egypt not merely as a regional bystander, but as a frontline actor willing to assert deterrence capabilities, even at the risk of undermining the 1979 Camp David Accords. Sources indicate that at least 2 HQ-9B batteries have been positioned at undisclosed sites in Sinai, likely within striking range of both Gaza and southern Israel. Satellite imagery analyzed by independent defense observers points to possible deployments near El Arish and along the Rafah corridor, offering overlapping coverage across the northeastern Sinai sector. From these positions, the HQ-9B can cover not only Gaza airspace, but extend its radar envelope as far as Tel Aviv and the Negev Desert, where key Israeli Air Force bases such as Hatzerim and Ramon are located. If confirmed, this creates a contested anti-access area denial bubble over much of southern Israel, complicating routine IAF flight operations. The presence of phased array radars linked to HQ-9Bs also allows Egypt to monitor Israeli aircraft sorties well beyond its borders, enhancing early warning against preemptive strikes. This development follows Egypt's earlier deployment of additional tanks, armored personnel carriers, and artillery into Sinai throughout 2024 to 2025, signaling a layered buildup of both offensive and defensive assets. The HQ-9B is widely regarded as the crown jewel of Beijing's surface-to-air missile exports, often likened to Russia's S-400 Triumph and America's Patriot PAC-3 in both range and sophistication. It is an evolution of the HQ-9 system, boasting enhanced radar processing, improved seeker guidance, and extended range envelopes that enable interception of aircraft, drones, cruise missiles, and even certain classes of ballistic missiles. According to open-source data, the HQ-9B can engage aerial threats at ranges of up to 250 kilometers and altitudes of 30 kilometers, a reach that extends deep into Israeli airspace if stationed in northern Sinai. The system employs active radar homing with a phased array radar suite providing 360-degree coverage, enabling simultaneous engagement of multiple high-speed targets across complex electromagnetic environments. Critically, the HQ-9B is designed with robust electronic countermeasures, making it resilient against Israel's electronic warfare platforms such as the Gulfstream G550 Shavit and ITOM variants. Egypt's acquisition of the HQ-9B earlier in 2025 marked a turning point in Cairo's procurement philosophy, moving away from reliance on US-supplied Patriot systems and Russian Buk M2E units. Beijing has already exported the HQ-9 series to Pakistan and Turkmenistan, with Pakistan allegedly using it during heightened tensions with India in 2022 to 2023, lending the system battlefield credibility. In deploying the HQ-9B to Sinai, Egypt is not only securing critical national infrastructure, including the Suez Canal, but also broadcasting its capacity to contest Israeli air superiority. The HQ-9B, developed by China Precision Machinery Import and Export Corporation under China Aerospace Science and Industry Corporation, has been widely compared to Russia's S-400 Triumph for its formidable range and multi-target engagement capability. The Sinai Peninsula has long been the epicenter of Egyptian-Israeli hostilities, from the Six-Day War in 1967 to the Yom Kippur War in 1973. Following the 1979 Camp David Accords, Sinai was divided into demilitarized zones with restrictions on Egypt's force deployments, particularly in Zone C along the Israeli border. Zone A, closer to the Suez, permits mechanized divisions, but Zone C is restricted to border guards and lightly armed police, with heavy weaponry requiring Israeli approval. For decades, both sides adhered to this delicate arrangement, even coordinating counterinsurgency operations against ISIS-linked groups in northern Sinai during the mid-2000s. But since the Hamas attack of October 2023 and Israel's subsequent military campaigns in Gaza, Egypt has increasingly ignored these restrictions. By August 2025, Cairo had reportedly doubled its Sinai troop levels to nearly 40,000 personnel, far exceeding treaty limits, citing the need to block a potential refugee surge across the Rafah crossing. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has repeatedly warned that any Israeli attempt to push Palestinians into Sinai would be treated as a red line, capable of dragging Cairo into direct conflict. This latest deployment of HQ-9Bs must therefore be understood not in isolation, but as part of a broader Egyptian military reinforcement that has been steadily building since late 2023. Israel has reacted with alarm, seeing the deployment as both a military threat and a violation of the Camp David Accords. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has reportedly lobbied the Trump administration, specifically Secretary of State Marco Rubio, to pressure Egypt into rolling back the deployment. Israeli media have characterized the HQ-9Bs as a game-changing threat that could limit IAF freedom of action over Gaza and southern Israel. The U.S., caught between its roles as Israel's principal ally and guarantor of the peace treaty, has thus far remained publicly silent. Privately, however, Pentagon officials are believed to be concerned that Egypt's use of Chinese-made systems complicates joint interoperability and intelligence sharing arrangements. Egypt's deployment of HQ-9B long-range air defense systems in Sinai is far more than a technical upgrade. It is a bold political statement, a deterrent posture, and a symbol of Cairo's evolving alliances in an era of shifting Middle Eastern geopolitics. For Israel, it represents a direct challenge to its air dominance, while for Washington, it underscores the limits of American leverage in a region increasingly shaped by Chinese technology and Arab assertiveness. Whether this deployment stabilizes the conflict through deterrence or pushes the region closer to open confrontation will depend on the delicate interplay of diplomacy, restraint, and military calculation in the months ahead. In the meantime, Sinai once again sits at the center of the Middle East's most dangerous equation, where history, technology, and geopolitics collide. That's all for today's update. Please subscribe and like this video.